Hey, what's going on? Tyler Austin here. I want you to stop for a second, come into my office. You're already in my office. You don't have a choice about that because where the camera's located, and hang out with me and my Vibe board for a second where I'm going to give you a 100% free masterclass, right? It's no charge for you to sit here and watch. In fact, it's charging me for you to watch this right now. But the reason why I don't really care, I'm not asking for you to do anything after you finish watching, this amazing content I'm about to give you. But my mission here, our vision rather at REISift is that all real estate companies have sales and marketing clarity, okay? And that means all real estate companies have sales and marketing clarity. And so what I'm going to teach you guys in this free masterclass, right? Just again, the longer you watch this, the more it charges me, is a tactic that we like to call first to market, F.T.M as an acronym. Don't mind my terrible handwriting, but first to market. So what does that mean? What is first to market? Well, let me give you an analogy real quick, and let me kind of break down the premise of being first to market. Right now, if you're a real estate investor, which you should be if you're seeing this ad, you're the real estate investor, an agent, or somebody in real estate, we know that there are situations going on in people's lives, be it foreclosures, probate situations, maybe a newly vacant property. There's different things happening. And whenever you get started in a real estate, or if you're a big operation, what you do is you say, hey, I'm going to pull that list on a monthly basis or a annual basis. You base it off of what you think it's going to be a sufficient amount of data for it to be worth your time, or the amount of money it costs to pull that list. So you only do it maybe quarterly or annually. Because of that, you have these different parameters that you utilize. Well, here's the problem with that, especially when it comes to situational lists like vexations, probates into foreclosures and so on, is if you wait for a month or 2 months or 3 months to pull that probate list for the people that have passed away in the last 30 days or 90 days or whatever, then you're going to end up being behind the curve. Why? Because somebody like me or some of our users at REISift, or even our larger operations that use REISift, they're going to already have reached that individual because they're doing a tactic called first to market. So what they're doing is they're getting this probate list. Let me get my marker. They're getting this probate list, or let's just say foreclosure. Okay, I don't want to talk about probate. Foreclosure. I'm also not a speller, so ignore any bad spelling. And they're going to pull this list directly from the county. Okay, be that having to physically go into the county or go to a website and pull it from the county, but they're getting it from the source. It's really important, from the source. And I'm going to break down the different types of foreclosures. Foreclosures has processes, right? Foreclosures have notice of defaults. It has certain delinquent time periods where you can get ahead of that foreclosure rather than waiting for a list pending to get filed. But they get it directly from the county. And once they get it from the county, they upload it to REISift. Or if you're not an REISift user, maybe you refuse to become an REISift user, totally up to you. Maybe you're going to just put it into a Google Sheet, all right? And then after they do that, what they're doing is they're going to start what we call sensei flows. And so this is going to be our first flow, flow number 1, okay? And this flow is broken down into 3 phases. The first phase is our prep phase. Okay, so we're going to call this prep phase. The prep phase consists of skip traced or non-skip trace records. So let's erase that real quick. Non-skip trace records, so no skipped. Okay, then it consists of records skip traced in 1 location, and then records skip traced in 2 locations. Okay, and that's our prep phase. So anytime that we bring new data into our business, we need to understand what data has never been skip traced before, what has been skip traced in 1 location, and if we don't get results on that first skip trace attempt, we want to skip trace it in a 2nd location. All right, and so that's our prep phase. That's flow 1. Okay, and that's going to move down into the next phase, and that next phase, flow 2, this is our what we call ready to market 1, okay? So this is the very first time that you're actually going to be marketing to these records, all right? And so we're going to have a few pieces of information that we need here. We're going to call ready, and I'm just going to put TM here because I don't have space, but ready to market. This is where all of those new records that have phone numbers from our first prep phase are going to sit. They're going to sit underneath here. And what it is and maybe we'll overlay it here for you, this is the data that's never been marketed to before, but we have phone numbers, okay? And this is a first to market strategy. We're going to wrap it all up together here in just seconds. So that's ready to market. Then we have our attempt 1, attempt 2, and attempt 3. And if you're doing, depending on if you're doing bulk marketing or if you're doing niche sequential marketing, which would be like click-to-call type stuff, maybe you go up to 5 attempts, okay? So there's that. Now there's a transitionary phase here, okay? So this is, let's call this flow 3. This is where we need to know what data has been skip traced in one location, but we haven't gotten in contact with anybody yet. And this is going to be REISift. All right, so this is the data that we're going to have to skip trace in a second location, okay? Because that first skip tracing location, we didn't get any results yet. We've called through it multiple times. We still haven't gotten anybody, so we need to skip trace in a second location. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have our next ready to market, number 2, which is going to be those that have been skip traced in 2 locations. And then we're going to do an attempt 1 all the way to an attempt 3 on those as well. Okay, and so what we've done here, and I know I'm kind of running through it pretty quickly, but I'm going to tell you how you can get more information at 0 cost to you in just a second. So we pulled new foreclosure records. And let's start adding up some numbers here, because that's really where it makes sense, right? Let's say we got 50 new foreclosures this week. Okay, so that's 50 new foreclosure records. We've entered that into our management system, and we've seen that we have 50 records that have never been skip traced. I suck at drawing 5s. Now that all enters into, let's say we got 40 records with phone numbers, okay? After this 2 different skip tracing providers that we've skip traced right here. So we got 40 phone numbers. We're going to take those, and we're going to do our first call attempt. And so let's just say out of attempts 1, 2, and 3, we reached 30 people, okay? So we reached 30 individuals, so 30 correct phone numbers. But there's still 20 people or 10 people that we haven't reached, right? The difference between the 40 and 30. So these 10 people are going to get skip traced in a second location, and they're going to get attempted another 1, 2, and 3 times with those new phone numbers. If we still didn't reach those 10 people, let's say we haven't reached 5 of them, then we're going to send those direct mail or something else, okay, to those 5 individuals. But we got 35 people that we've reached out of the 50 original people in a 1-week period of time, okay? And so I've reached the 35 people in the 1-week period of time because I brought those foreclosures records in today, marketed to them over the course of the week, maybe 2 weeks, whatever, depends on the quantity, and I generated leads and revenue from them now, rather than waiting for 90 days for them to pile up so that I can throw into a bulk dialer or something else. I worked them right away. That's what first to market is I'm getting them right away when the situation happened. So last month, maybe the list pending hit. This month it got filed at the court. Boom, I pulled the data and I'm calling them, right? So I'm the first person that they're speaking with, okay? And it's a really, because my handwriting is so terrible, it's pretty distracting on how terrible my handwriting is. But you're getting the best data from the best location. You're using the best tool to manage your data and turn it from a prospect to a lead, and then manage those leads until they convert to revenue, right? Utilizing REISift, or you can use Google Sheets. It sounds a little annoying to use Google Sheets, but you can totally do that. And that is the master class, if you will. So let's summarize this a little bit, okay? Step 1, pull data. ASAP. As soon as it can happen, pull it. Whether that be daily for probates, weekly for foreclosures, whatever, pull that stuff as soon as you can, okay? Upload it to a platform that you can manage the data. call each phone number. Don't just call each phone number, but call it, text it, and leave a voicemail. At the same time, this is what we call niche sequential marketing. Okay? As they convert to leads, it goes into a lead management right inside of REISift. Manage the leads. Create a task for that new lead, to be called. If you don't get any responses, skip trace in a second location. Call again. Anybody that you don't reach, direct mail. Okay? Now, there's a very niche way to go about things. Pull the data, upload it to a platform, call each phone number, call, text, voicemail, skip trace in a second location, call those phone numbers again, and then send them direct mail, right? It's a flow. There's a system. I intake new data. It goes through the conveyor belt. It gets churned through, and then it goes to the next location. Everything has a place that it needs to be at throughout this flow. After you get done doing this, okay, you know that you've done everything that you can. Throughout this process, by the way, that's 27 touches. 27 touches over a 72-hour period on each individualized prospect. It takes, on average, between 8 and 12 touches to get a conversion. In any other strategy, we're hitting it 27 times. So you can dominate your big operations, okay, by utilizing a first-to-market strategy on choosing just one single niche. Get to the point where you're doing it with 3 niches and then expand. If you're already a big company, okay, then just hire one individual and have them do this with one niche. Okay, and you're going to add a bunch more revenue into your business. You're going to reduce a bunch of costs in your business. Okay, this is just one strategy that we teach here at REISift, and I wanted to push it out there and let you guys visualize it. What I want to invite you guys to do is something very simple here. Go to Facebook and search REISift Mastermind Community. Maybe it can be linked below. I'm not quite sure, but go join the community. Just request access. Say, hey, I seen this video and I want to request access. It's a free real estate mastermind community where there is a bunch of marketers and people who are crushing it. Just this last week, I've locked up 2 contracts with one of our users using this exact strategy for foreclosures. And if you go on our Instagram or TikTok, you can actually see a video of me sharing wins on people doing this exact strategy. First to market. As they come in, foreclosures we know are going to be coming up. Probates we know are coming up. We see the market shifting. Be the first person to get these. Expired listings, newly vacant records. First to market is one of the most powerful things you can do in your business. If you combine first to market with the bulk strategy you're already using and put those together, you will become the dominating operation inside of your market. So I want to invite you guys to head over to the REISift Mastermind community and just check it out. And say hi to everybody. Say, hey, is this legit? That's all you got to do. Don't take my word for it. Maybe I'm biased. I'm the founder of the company. But you can also check out Trustpilot. Right? Head over to Trustpilot, see what our reviews say when it comes to what we teach and how we educate how to use our platform here at REISift. So I want to thank you for sticking with me. If you have any questions, let us know. You might get hit with another ad from me. It's free. Might be a free resource. Take advantage of it. I'm paying for it anyway. You don't got to do anything, right? So, all right, we'll see you guys later. Hopefully we see you in the community though. Bye-bye.